Okay, grown black folks talk. Be careful, my hypergamy and black love sisters alike. This is the short follow-up on the previous video. And then maybe later on, I'm going to be doing it on the climb to do something a little bit more uplifting. I hate days where I got to come out and bark, but some grim times and grim importance. Be careful. In the description of this video, I'm dropping a video that Auntie Love sent me today, yesterday in your time, as she and I were discussing the PD pastor and the wannabe again, serial adulterating presidential candidate. And in this video, white men are out here having psychotic breaks, sounding like Kevin Samuels and Pearl Davis and blaming black women for everything, just like the psychotic break, which is that fourth page of Project 2025 and other pages as well. As I said in the previous video, when this bid for male deification fails again, whether it fails immediately because the people are like, we're not about to do none of this in November, and Joe Biden stays in office, but then everybody who is observing Project 2025 stays in office where they are too, because a lot of them will, or whether Project 2025 has a candidate that will allow them to do their will. So what you're talking about is whether men who agree with this have the high hand or not, you're going to have essentially the same reaction, just question of scale. They're going to wreak their projection and scapegoating onto black women. So may I suggest you cancel the Summer of Love? You go, so normally I have the heart up there. No, I'm saying to you, nope, cancel it. Because it's going to take more time for you to vet anyone of any color. Black men are as much on the wannabe Greco-Roman deification and enthronement path as their white counterparts who believe in Zeus, not Jesus. Because the only part of Jesus in that version of religion is to have him come and be in the Catholic Church, directly come and be the victim every day so you can be absolved to go out and sin and come back the next day for mass and confession and go do it again. That literally is the doctrine of the Catholic Church. Or in a Protestant church, the most dedicated Protestant Christians in the United States are black women. So since we don't directly have communion every day or every week, we just slaughter the black women and children every day and every week. We kill Christ's best known representatives. This is also why the worshippers of Zeus and his rape culture are also very angry with black women, because they know that Caesar Augustus, the august and the holy and the noble, got his head put under Queen Amanirena's stairs. She was the only person who held back the Roman horde at that time. Honorable mention to Mr. Hannibal. 20 years of working on it. Held back at Carthage for 20 years. Did the best he could. His father did the best he could. They held the Romans off for a long time. Queen Amanirenas said, no, you ain't coming in here, period. She succeeded. They failed. But honorable mention, they did their best. Black men doing their best. We'll acknowledge it. Failed. Queen Amanirenas, husband and son, gave their lives and failed. But those who know their Greco-Roman history know Queen Amanirenas succeeded. Harriet Tubman succeeded. The black women who ran the Underground Railroad and got their slaves out succeeded. The black women, unnamed, who nursed black and white soldiers and kept the Union Army running and did a lot of base service for that are unnamed, succeeded. And a few of those black women shaved their heads and bound their breasts and put on a uniform and went out there themselves and succeeded. Ida B. Wells succeeded in exposing the foolery. Billie Holiday, exposed to the world, paid a terrible price for it. But everybody knows about strange fruit. Exposed it to the world. Exposed the American white man of that time to the world using her musical ability. She succeeded, and revenge was enacted. And so I need you to understand, I've been saying this all year. I've been telling y'all to sound like I've been telling y'all all year. This is not the time, because I'm talking about hypergamy, divestment lifestyle. I'm gonna get me a white man. You better watch this video I'm putting in the description. If it is a black man, black love, you better check the femicide numbers. You better know who you're dealing with. It's already June. You ain't got time to vet anybody yet for the whole summer. We talk about pulling background checks. We talk about maybe you need some self-defense classes. Actually, there's a self-defense class for the older and slower that's coming up here that I'm probably going to try to get into. I'm slower because I have an injury. Because in the time in which we're coming, when these men fail, either from the high hand or the low hand, they may not be able to, if they don't have the high hand, they may not be able to come from Black women in mass, but you're gonna be dumb enough to be close enough unless you take the time to vet and unless you take the time to learn what's really going on. I'm not saying you're stupid, because ain't no Black woman I've ever met stupid. And frankly, I don't know that many stupid Black men either. It's what you choose to do with your intelligence. I have not yet met anyone who is natively stupid, but you can be delusional too long and melt your brain down. You can do that. You can be going through mental changes. It's how we choose to apply our intellect. So, you sitting out here, it's okay to have recreation, but there's some very serious things you need to get on top of. Confidence with Luv is putting out a vetting 101 course. She also has an interracial marriage course. Y'all get on over to Confidence with Luv channel, LUV, Confidence with LUV. Get on over there. And if you intend to do anything serious, then I need you to go ahead and invest in yourself and take those courses. I need you to also look at my Bible study in John. Whether you're a Christian or not, I'm going to need you to understand, living in a Christian country, that you can tell the difference between how Christ treats women and Zeus treats women. You can tell. You just got to go through a study in the book of John. Jesus takes out after the manosphere. Jesus takes out after Constantine in the book of John. He defends women from a patriarchal society of his own day that would kill them for scapegoating just to be petty and get at another man, who have a problem with anybody being worshipped with them and are going to rail against even him being worshipped as God, who have women thinking that they don't have any value unless they're serving. And Jesus said, no, it's all right, Martha, for you to come out of that kitchen and sit down. Because, on the previous pages, I fed 4,000 and 5,000. You ain't got to do all that. You can sit and listen and learn from me too, just like my disciples, just like the other men. This Jesus, who in the book of Luke had it recorded that women supported him out of their own means, just like Elijah and Elisha felt. Well, Elisha in particular, it was very clear. A great woman, and then and her husband, was the one that built a room so the prophet would have some place to stay. This goes on all the way back in scripture. But see, again, the worshippers of Zeus want to establish a rape culture where they get to have all kinds of young women, call them naiads, dryads, water spirits, or whatever you want, from everywhere in the world, of every background around them, that they may take and do with what they will, and allow their legitimate goddess wives to then take out the fact that they cannot do anything to make these men faithful on those dryads, naiads, and humans who could not consent, and take out their hatred on them, while at the same time maintaining art, culture, and a properly respectful home. Y'all go read Mothers of Massive Resistance. Y'all go and learn who the Daughters of the Confederacy were. Y'all go read Republican Motherhood and find out that this is still what's going on. And you're going to get out there and if you're not careful, attach yourself to a man who believes in all that. Zeus and George Washington combined. And not George Washington Carver. He didn't do none of this. He didn't have nothing to do with that. Booker T. Washington didn't do all this. As far as I've been able to determine, he was faithful to his wife and to his family. George Washington Carver never married. He just did his science and got up out the way. So not Booker T. and not George Washington Carver, but them other ones. Thomas Jefferson. Out here trying to be either the underbaked or the overbaked version of Thomas Jefferson, and you ain't done no vetting and you about to marry yourself to that on the dawn of either we're going to put down Project 2045 and have it retool itself for Project 2029, or it gets enacted and we're going to have to deal with all the struggles to survive that go with that, and you're going to be connected with someone who believes in it. No, This ain't the time to be romancing. This ain't the time to be laying down and having sex with. This ain't the time to be having babies with nobody that you have not vetted. And please do not, we can't vet these men. No. I need you to go over to my Cold Noir Auntie's page, Confidence with Luv, LUV. I'll put her channel in the description. And I need you to ask her how much the vetting 101 pre-order is going to be. And then go ahead and get the interracial for those of you who hypergamy. Whatever she tells you to pay, pay it. Because she talked about, she said the men don't need to come over here and do nothing but bow the knee and tie. I'm telling you, whatever it is, she wants you to pay for those 2 courses. If you think you're going to be having a summer of love, I need you to go over there and find out what you're doing. She's going to give you how the FBI, the CIA, and all them other people vet folks. She's going to tell you what she did for her white husband before she let him have access. Yeah, Confidence With Luv has a white husband. And she said, we just call him Mr. White Privilege. But she said, look, he was raised by racists too. So I had to get him straight on some things. I had to let him know that from now on, everything, all the white privilege you have, no, that's going to be in the service of Black women and girls. So if you are going to go out there and do this summer, then you need to be ready. If you think that hypergamy is going to give you access to live like a Black slave mistress, though, I'm going to tell you, no, that's not how any of this works. Because the Greeks and the Romans believed anybody who was not them was a barbarian. Believe me, the way these Kevin Samuels and Pearl Davis and this white man is going to be in the description and talk about us, yeah, Black women are the chief barbarians. Because everybody's still mad because that barbarian Queen of Many-Renos had the audacity to send some golden arrows to Caesar Augustus and tell him, look, Augie, let me explain to you how this is going to work, boy. You see these arrows? When we sit down, when our delegation sit down, if you mean peace, you go ahead and keep these as a token of my affection for you. If your delegation does not come down here and act right, keep the arrows anyway, because you sure enough gonna need them. And what's it gonna be, Augie? I told y'all she took his head off the effigy that he had forced to have up there a couple years earlier. Took it off, buried it under her stairs. Before Nancy Sinatra ever said these shoes are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days, the shoes gonna walk all right over you. No. That was that was a Black woman from Ethiopia who walked over that white man's head in effigy every day. And so did her daughter, and so did her granddaughters. And these people understand that that's what they're dealing with if they don't find a way to convince us that we're not worth anything more than to be their scapegoats. Because they're telling you, and you won't be out here and won't be connected to a man like that intimately. I'm saying just don't do it. But if you are intending to do it because you're in love, then you go over to Confidence with LUV's page and get yourself some courses. Pay her whatever she says you need to pay her, because that's an investment in your life as opposed to your death. If you are a Christian, well, what does the Bible say? That's fine. I got you. I'm going to put the Bible study to the book of John in the description. So you can look at the man supposed to love you as Christ loved the church. Well, then how does Christ treat women? Yes, you need to listen to every single video that's up in there, because this is your life or this is your death. I'm gonna cover you on all bases, because the femicide numbers have gone from 4 to 5 Black women per day being killed by Black men to 5 to 6. But this is not even counting what white men are writing state legislatures, but it could be a white woman, talking about how it's God's will that Black women and their children die. You got that going on. But then you already have these maternal mortality numbers because white men are standing by and letting the white women who run policy for maternity wards and who are the majority of the nurses and letting your kids being taken advantage of in school, but who are the majority of the teachers, they all sitting by and let this happen. And you want to be connected with these people? I don't care what color he is. You need to shut the summer of love down until you've at least got yourself some tools from the Bible. And if you don't want to do it from a Christian perspective, if that's not what you want, fine. Go get some things from Confidence With Luv and pay her. Pay her, because she's going to help you save your life out here with these men. All right. Have I boxed you enough and told you to get your life together so you have it? It is that serious. It's that serious. You got candidates. This is your choices. Your choices, and what tips it for me is Project 2025. Your choices are a person who determines your Blackness by whether you vote for him, versus the Project 2025 backed serial adulterating former wannabe again president. Those are your choices. That's the world you're living in. Neither of those are friends of yours. But then Project 2025 tips it because Donald Trump would just be a figurehead. At this point, he's not really relevant in the sense that they just need to have him in charge of the executive branch so they can basically tell him what to do. And hopefully he's still mentally competent enough not to completely louse it up. That's all that is. That's all that is. and you out here not knowing whether you getting connected with their miniatures. No, I don't think so. I care enough about you to put that warning out. I want you to live with your children. Kevin Samuels, this little white man, and Pearl Davis are all saying the same thing. And Andrew Tate and all of them are saying the same thing. Anton Daniels all saying the same thing. Anton Daniels let himself get caught out there talking about we need to kill all the single mothers and their children. I don't think he mentioned the children. You need to get rid of all the single mothers and start over. That's a quarter of black women. And as I've said, when we did more aunties, people are not going to be checking. They're going to see black woman and go from there. My mother is not a single mother, and I'm not either. But ain't nobody been checking to see any more than they check and see if we were actually Democrats. We're not. Ain't nobody checking. Once open season happens on black women, it's on. Don't sit up there and think you protected either. If you're a Christian, go read the book of Esther and see what Mordecai said to Esther. You think you're the queen, you got your little interracial marriage, you got yourself a Persian patriarch. No, what's gonna end up happening is they're gonna find out you're a Jew, they're gonna take your family out because actually Haman wants to get me and you're my niece. You forgot about that part. You think you're gonna be safe? No, you're not. God will find another way to do this, but you're gonna die because you know what you need to do. And you need to get on it. So you got this privilege with your husband, get your tailbone up in there and get him to stop this genocide. Now, of course, Mordecai, future prime minister of Persia, was much more refined in his speech. I just broke it down to you in good old Texas inflected, California tame, but not really African American vernacular English. Don't think that your hypergamous marriage and your black love marriage protects you. Because the thing about life is you don't know who you're dealing with till the chips are down. And unless you've done sufficient vetting and watched what people do. Auntie Love teaches you in her self-confidence. Get that too, your self-confidence for black women course. Standards, boundaries, behaviors. I remember this. One time is an incident. Two times is a coincidence. Three times is a behavioral pattern. So no matter what people say, first of all, do you know about Project 21? No, what's that? Nope. You can't defend your wife against something you don't even know about. But would you be willing to check it out? Yeah, that's too it's too long to read. No, 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 no. My dad picked up my outlines on Project 2025 and was like, "Oh no, no. Have you shared this with Pastor yet? We gonna need to talk to him." Oh no, Dad was like, "Hey, what? My wife, my daughters? No, look, any proper man seeing that his wife and children are being targeted is gonna have that response. And then what you do is you then watch his behavior because now dad is on my neck about be careful how you talk about this because historically people come for you. This I can do over here, this I can do over here for you, but just be careful out there. And we're gonna make sure that more people know so the church can get rallied about this too because everybody needs to get involved. But I've known my father all my life. He protected black women and children, his own wife, his own children, and everybody in the community. He's pre-vetted on this for me. And at 80 plus, I don't ask him to do more than what he can do. But the point is he's pre-vetted. So he's got more than 3 incidents of behavior. You need to find 3 incidents. If a man is truly against Project 2025, he's going to be living a lifestyle that's not trying to deify and throwing himself at your expense. So how does he treat you? Watch him for a while. What's his background? Do a background check. Auntie Love's course will show you how to do deep background checks. I had a chance to look at it in preview. And as a journalist, there's certain things that I do, and I did a video about that. But if I were to do interracial marriage, of course I'm going to invest in the course. Because I got somebody near me who's done this successfully, who's not living in fear in her own house, whose husband knows you bet not. And it's very, very sad that we as Black women have to conceive of our relationships in a state of war. But from what time in the United States, since our foremothers were imported here, have we not actually been inside and outside the community? Someone is trying to make war on us. When has this not been? And if you do your history honestly, Even if you're someone like me who lives in a protected, who grew up 5 doors down, but everybody knew dad wasn't gonna be messed with. Even if you're someone like me who was protected, that's a small bubble. And that means I'm obligated to come to terms with what it is for everybody else and use the privilege I have to be able to have a base to make sure other people now get protected. And that's why Auntie Love has put out material that if you just take the courses that she has, Vetting 101 is coming. I'm saying cancel the Summer of Love for your own protection. Let the autumn leaves blow by your window. See what happens in this next election, and then pick your ground next year. Whoever you get with and have children with, Project 2525 wants to force you to be with that person, wants to cut you off of all federal assistance if you choose not to do that. So what you might want to do this summer, it's a different video, but you might want to understand you got one more real big chance to get involved in the crypto markets and profit well. You might want to get a copy of this book and learn the crypto markets. You might want to listen to Black Girl Stocks. I'll put the link to this in the description also. You might want to listen to Black Girl Stock if you think stocks and bonds and options. You might want to listen to Judge Alicia Thomas, who does financial literacy for Black single mothers. Her channel is Alicia Thomas. AEL. If I gotta find it, I'll put it in the description. She breaks down current events in a very different way than I do, and she's a very different person, but she's a judge, and she's also hilarious. But what she also does is she raises money to teach investment to Black single mothers. You also might want to listen to Stephanie Perry and the Esther Summit channels. And then you might want to move out to Sheeta's on the Loose, Rashida Dow, who's Stephanie's partner. And you might want to listen to Picky Girl Travels the World, Adelia Borshade, because they're going to teach you how Black women make remote money, not dependent on jobs and other people. I keep telling you this because I wanted to get into your spirit that instead of you thinking like Madam D.A. Fonnie Willis, a man is not a plan, particularly not right now. See, in the previous video, we went from love to life or death. In this video, we went from life or death back to love. In love, I'm telling you, don't be deluded by promises of love in this coming series, this coming summer. I recommend that you take this time and learn what you need to know. If you are a Christian, go through my Bible study in John and see what Christ was like, who's supposed to be your example for a man. If you're not a Christian, or if you are, if you're not, you might, like I said, go over to Confidence With Luv's page. And yes, she is a different religion from us. Relative to us, she's a heretical heathen. So she says this very boldly. I'm not making anything up. And she said, but I'm not changing. But she has knowledge that you can learn from her. So go over there and learn. If you're going to do interracial, great. Go get her course on interracial marriage. She's got a Vetting 101 course to come out. You're going to have a hard time with that course unless you've done the Confidence, Self-Confidence to Love for Black women course. So get what's there, invest in yourself, and start so that you can put yourself in a position where you're not going to be taken advantage of. Because again, Black men, white women are all telling you the same thing. They're going to pile and project everything they feel is going wrong in their life and the nation's life on you. And the last thing you want is to be connected with a man of any color who is only selecting you to beat the life, slow or fast, out of you and any children you bring into that situation. That is what is at stake. And out of love, I'm warning you. You have been warned. Get your life together. Take this summer, get your life together. If you're going to be romantic, get the information you need. It'll be in the description. Please, ain't too proud to beg. I'm tired of Black women turning up dead. Have a good day anyway, like I said before. And maybe if I have time, I'll do a more cheerful on the climb sometime today. Bye.